but things just happen in business, right?
Yeah, things just happen. And like I said, people don't expect you to be perfect. Most people don't expect you to be perfect. They expect you to do your best and to be transparent, and to be upfront. So communication is very important. I give some really specific examples in the book about the different amounts of time and how you should reach out to people. I also talk about the right and the wrong way to apologize, when it should happen, how it should happen, the 5 components of a proper apology, because so many people have this like weird perception that you should never apologize, which in fact, like the opposite is true, right? Like, would you want to be in a relationship with a person who never apologized even when they were at fault? Of course not. So like, why would you want to work with a company that refuses to take responsibility or own up to something that has failed to meet a customer's expectations?
This is the Alden Report.
I'm super excited about our latest program. Look, we've been on television for close to 20 years, literally selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of products and services that have had a positive impact on people's lives. We've created millionaires. If you've ever watched television, you've most likely seen me on television, not dressed like this, but in a suit and a tie. Listen, we've re-engineered the process. We're allowing people, a small group of people, whether you're an author, whether you're a business coach, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you have a program or a service that you feel as though that can have a positive impact on people's lives, and you want to up-level your game. You know, you're tired of what's going on social media. You're tired of AI is not kicking in. You're tired of all the money that you spent and you're not seeing any return. You're tired of all these fraudsters out there that tell you they're going to put you in Huffington Post or USA Today or Forbes, and it's nothing just but a joke. You want to be in front of millions of people every single day all over the country. Folks, we've been doing it for 20 years. We've re-engineered the process. We've made it possible for the average everyday person to participate in this. If you want to up-level your game, if you truly want to build your profile, if you truly want to get in front of millions of people every single day, send me a direct message at Mike Alden. See it on the bottom of the screen. At Mike Alden, put TV in the message, and I will get back to you personally and see if you're a good fit for us. Again, send me a direct message at Mike Alden. Send me the message TV, and we'll see if you're a good fit.
This is the Alden Report.
All right, my name is Mike Alden. We are here in Blue Bay Studios. Of course, I have my 99-cent glasses. I don't have a hat on today. It's a little bit warm out today compared to what it was a few days ago. A few days ago, it was like minus 11 here in Massachusetts. But things are warming up. I am super excited for my next guest. My next guest is a motivational speaker. She's a keynote speaker. She's also the best-selling author of a book. By the way, if you know anything about me, I'm into books. I'm into selling books. I'm into promoting authors. Her book is called Creating Superfans. Now, look, if you're on social media, because you probably are watching this and listening to this, everybody wants to know, how do we create superfans, especially if you're not like already famous? Well, my next guest is Brittany Hodak. She has written the book. She shows you how to do it. She's doing it. She helps other people do it. And by the way, if you've also followed me on social media, I talked a little bit about her book, just how awesome it is. And I'm super excited to have her today because she's going to show us how you can create super fans. Brittany, thanks so much for being here.
Yay. Thanks so much for having me, Mike. I'm thrilled to be having this conversation.
So I don't know if you saw the video that I did with you, and it was funny. I had a senior moment, and I was like, I was going through your book, and I was like going through the stuff, and I was holding this thing up, and I was like, and then she's got one of these things. It's kind of cool. Like, what? Oh, a bookmark. That's what this is. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how'd you get involved in this whole, kind of branding world and helping people, kind of build their brands and create, what I call, fanatics.
Yeah, well, I grew up working in the music industry, and I got my first job at a radio station when I was 16 years old. I worked for record labels and music magazines and entertainment agencies, and I was always fascinated by fandom. What it was that made some artists have these like enormous followings, while others would have smaller, like cult followings, but still super loyal. And then others would just fail to launch. Like a label could spend a ton of money and they could have all the best producers, all the best marketing, everything, but the artist would just sort of never take off. And, like many people in the music industry who try to figure that out, I was looking at the numbers, I was looking at, what I knew to be true. And what I found happening again and again and again was that the artists who had not only the fastest ascent, but also who had the most loyal fans over time were the ones who connected to their fans, the ones who tried to invite fans into their story, who made it a mission to get to know their fans as much as they were hoping that their fans would get to know them. So they connected their story to their fans. And I saw this to be true over and over and over again. And it makes sense on a human level, right? Like, of course, fandom is a two-way street. Of course, we want to feel like we matter to the people and the things that matter to us. And as I progressed in my career, I started doing more and more brand deals where I would work with, like a big CPG brand or a big retailer or a big tech company to sponsor a tour or an album launch or a product release. And I started to see that the exact same markers for fandom in pop culture are true in nearly every other vertical. So we want to work with companies, we want to promote and, support products that we feel like care about us and are aligned with the things that we want and the things that we care about. So this sort of two-way street, this two-way directional exchange of information, I started to see it again and again and again and everywhere. So I went back to grad school. I got a master's degree in marketing and consumer behavior, and I just started studying and reading everything I could to try to understand fandom in a way that I could create a framework that anyone could use, whether they were a solopreneur or somebody running, a 100-year-old brand. Like, what is it that you need to do? What are those steps that you need to take? What are the boxes that you need to check to go from being a potential commodity provider in the minds of your prospects and customers to a category of one, to that partner that they trust and they love and they want to work with again and again. So this book is that effort for me to say, like, if you want to create super fans, here's what you got to do.
As a marketing guy, I'm just fascinated by this topic. And again, people listening right now, they fall into that, entrepreneur business people listen to the podcast. It's pretty much, kind of who we cater to. And one of the first instances for me where I saw fanaticism with a brand was NASCAR. I'm not even a NASCAR guy. And for my first book, I actually wrapped a NASCAR, not in some just obscure like dirt track. Like it was actually the Sprint Cup series, and I did it a dozen times. And I was just so blown away by the fans in NASCAR and their fanaticism and their loyalty to the brand of NASCAR. And then you see all these people that are buying sweatshirts and hats and all this other gear wearing brands, major brands, Tide and that's the first one I can think of, and Winston back in the day, and Sprint and all this other stuff. And they're just wearing brands, and they're walking billboards, and the cars themselves are walking billboards. Do you talk a little bit about that? Did you study NASCAR? I don't know if you did, but for me, that was the first time, and I was like, wow. I feel like I understand it, but what are your thoughts on NASCAR?
Yeah, well, NASCAR is a great example, and it is something that I've studied. I've worked with several NASCAR brands over the years, teams and drivers, and you're right in that people, they want to be a part of it. And when I talk about super fandom in the book, I talk about the fact that the number one threat that everybody has to be overcome, like whether you're a brand new business, whether you've been doing it for decades, the number one threat that your business needs to be aware of and have a plan for is apathy. People who just don't care, like they don't care enough to care. They could be apathetic to your category. They could be apathetic to your brand, but we are all so busy. There are so many messages coming at all of us all the time. And what NASCAR has done a really great job of over, the past several decades, and what there's this halo effect for all of the brands and all of the properties that are associated with NASCAR because of this fanaticism, because of this fandom, is they have connected their story and rooted it in the lives of their fans. It's become a lifestyle. As you said, people want to wear those brands. They want to, they talk about the drivers as if they know them, as if they're family. They name their kids after them. They, write songs about them. Like, it's become part of the culture. And it's a really great example that regardless of what it is that you do, regardless of what you're selling or you're marketing, you can make it relevant and you can make it come alive to people if you focus on the experience, because people don't buy products or services anymore. They buy the experience that they're wrapped in. We're living in an experience economy. And as somebody who's been to NASCAR events, like, it is an experience. You go there with your family, with your kids, you're going to have a great time. You're going to meet drivers. You're going to get to, see crashes. You're going to get to, have all of these experiences. So yes, they're an example of an entity that really understands making their brand come alive and be relevant to the people that, are experiencing and interacting with the NASCAR brand.
I'm super excited about our latest program. Look, we've been on television for close to 20 years, literally selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of products and services that have had a positive impact on people's lives. We've created millionaires. If you've ever watched television, you've most likely seen me on television, not dressed like this, but in a suit and a tie. Listen, we've re-engineered the process. We're allowing people, a small group of people, whether you're an author, whether you're a business coach, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you have a program or a service that you feel as though that can have a positive impact on people's lives, and you want to up-level your game. You're tired of what's going on social media. You're tired of AI is not kicking in. You're tired of all the money that you spent and you're not seeing any return. You're tired of all these fraudsters out there that tell you they're going to put you in Huffington Post or USA Today or Forbes, and it's nothing just but a joke. You want to be in front of millions of people every single day all over the country. Folks, we've been doing it for 20 years. We've re-engineered the process. We've made it possible for the average everyday person to participate in this. If you want to up-level your game, if you truly want to build your profile, if you truly want to get in front of millions of people every single day, send me a direct message at Mike Alden. See it on the bottom of the screen. At Mike Alden, put TV in the message, and I will get back to you personally and see if you're a good fit for us. Again, send me a direct message at Mike Alden. Send me the message TV, and we'll see if you're a good fit.